I'm Elise Baughman. I'm the voice of Pan, and I'm the voice of the New Horizons skin for Nuwa on the video game Smite, and I am with Jay Hickman.
I am indeed Jay Hickman, the voice of Kagetane Hiruko from Black Bullet.
Yes, and this is Anime Adventures, where I talk to anime voice actors.
Welcome to Anime Adventures.
We are at Anime Dallas. It's been so much fun, and it's so great to talk to you.
Likewise,
I can't wait to talk characters.
Let's talk all about it.
Let's talk about characters, and I've conveniently got some right in front of me. So any, mini, miny, mo.
Okay. That's the aforementioned Kagetane Hiruko.
Yes.
He is the chief villain of Black Bullet. He turns out to be a bit more of an anti-hero. So he starts as the big bad, and then he learns that he and the hero have a couple common enemies, and so they join forces. It's kind of a fun story arc, but he's outrageous. Like, he just chews scenery. You never see his real face. It's always this wacky kind of comical smile, even though he's a pretty bad guy.
And did you know that ahead of time? Did you know some of the story?
I didn't know any of it. This was directed by Chris Ayers. You may know that name.
Yes, of course.
He is big into the Dragon Ball Z world.
Uh-huh.
And so he directed me. He called me in and sat me down. He's like, here's the show. Here's what it's about. Your character is Kagetane. Here's what he's about. I'm like, terrific. What sort of voice do you want? He was like, you tell me.
Really?
So we started watching some scenes together, and I just kind of came to mind like some sort of just mad game show host, like, might be perfect.
Oh, really? Did it take you a minute, or did it just kind of come out once you started seeing the character?
It didn't take too long. So yeah, we did a couple scenes, and I was kind of working into it, and kind of halfway through the first episode, I'd hit my stride. So we went back and we recorded a couple lines.
Oh, you did?
So yeah, Chris is so wonderful to work with and very collaborative, and he wanted me to be able to come up with kind of the essence of this guy. Mm-hmm. So we were able to work that out together. But yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I haven't worked with Chris, but everybody just loves him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He's the greatest.
Oh, that's so great. You wonder how, I get asked that, like, how did you come up with character voices? So it's always cool to hear other actors talk about how they came up with their character's voice.
Yeah, it varies. I think from director to director, I've been very fortunate that I've been able to work with a number of directors in the industry a number of times now. So we've been able to build a rapport together. And so they kind of understand what I can do. And obviously I understand what they're looking for in many cases. And so I've been quite fortunate that it's been a scenario much like that, where I walk in and like, tell me what you want for the voice. And they're like, show me what you got. Let's kind of think it through together.
Oh, that's really cool. Yeah. So what about this one?
He's a classic. So that is Prince Mutoh from Princess Tutu. Mm-hmm. It is an older anime. This is about 12, 15 years ago that we first dubbed that one. And it's a beautiful anime. It stars Lucy Christian.
Yes.
You may know that name.
I know that name.
She is the titular Princess Tutu, and she is basically like a superhero duck ballerina. And so this is her prince, and he's a fairy tale prince, and he comes to the real world. He is magically transported out of his fairy tale book to come into the real world to help out. And so in the process, he magically loses his heart. His heart is split into 100 different shards, and they're scattered all over the land. And so Princess Tutu's job is to find the shards and help return them to him one by one. Like, basically each episode is her finding a heart shard and returning it to him.
Wow.
So like, she is the superhero and he's kind of the damsel in distress. But what's remarkable, he was really interesting to voice, because when you first meet him, he is without his heart, and so he's completely emotionally flat.
Oh, interesting.
So you can tell that he's got a sense of urgency when, things are going bad. Mm-hmm. You can tell that sort of agitates him, but he is emotionless until at the end of each episode, when he's slowly getting back his emotions one by one.
Yes.
So each heart shard represents an emotion. So his first heart shard to get back is loneliness, and then the next one is jealousy. And so episode 2, with Prince Mutoh, he's completely emotionless, except for he's got like 2% loneliness. And so the director was like, okay, it's all flat except 2% lonely. And then episode 3 was 2% lonely and 2% jealousy. I'm like, okay.
That's interesting,
so
because how
was-
often do you do that? Like, okay, give me
that was a
2% lonely. Yeah.
So like, yeah, but we're in episode 6 and I'm like, am I okay on mirth? Is that enough mirth? Like, notch it up like 0.5% of mirth. I'm like, got it.
Really?
So
may I hear his voice? Because I haven't seen this one.
Yeah, he was pitched very high. He's got a very soft-spoken, high-pitched voice. So it's just like, I'll have to lean in.
Yes.
It's like, yes, Princess Tutu. Like it was really, really high pitched. So he was a teenager.
Yeah.
And I had not done a lot of that. And so the director is Jinho Chung for that one. And when he first called me in to say, here's the guy, I'm like, are you sure I'm the guy? He's like, absolutely.
How great, though. That really is cool as an actor to start in one place and then really, literally layer on emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
He
What a
was
great experience.
absolutely unique in terms of the challenge, and then obviously it was remarkably rewarding, when it all came together. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful show.
Wow, I love that. Let's talk one more.
Glad to.
Yes.
That is Joichiro Yukihira, also known as Joichiro Saiba from his younger days. So this is from the immensely popular new show Food Wars. It is currently on Toonami, also streaming on highdive.com, available on DVD. And so Joichiro is the father of Soma Yukihiro, who is the protagonist of the show. And so he is a world-famous chef. His son is now at the prestiged Totsuki Academy for fine culinary cuisine. And so he is kind of a catalyst for his son, who is, classic kind of shonen story. And so he's at this, really cutthroat cooking academy. Like, kids get kicked out week after week. Like, it's every exam. If you fail, you're kicked out of the academy. And so Soma is, constantly looking for inspiration. Like, one week his challenge is to cook curry, and he doesn't have a lot of curry experience. He's like, what would my dad do? And so even in the episodes that Joichiro doesn't show up to be in person, we get some flashbacks with Soma working with his dad in their family diner so that he can remember kind of a lesson he learned from his dad 10 years ago.
That's so cool.
To inspire him.
Now, sometimes I always love to hear how people got started in voiceover.
Sure.
How did you get started?
Fun story.
Okay, good.
I had been, I'm based in Houston, I'm still there now, and had been working, my background is in theater, I think with a lot of other actors.
A lot of actors have a background, it seems to be in theater or improv. I talk to a lot with either theater or improv or both. Okay, so you're theater.
That was the case for me. I was theater background. I had done, roles in high school and then in college, and then on some of the main stage productions in Houston. And I was started getting work as an actor doing on-screen stuff, and then the agent I worked with also did some voiceover, and so I was starting to get a couple jobs doing commercials. So I'm working as an actor. I've done some voiceover.
Okay.
And then our alternative weekly was called the Houston Press.
Yeah.
And I saw one day on the back page an advertisement for voiceover actors.
Oh, okay.
So it was like, we need voices for commercials or for cartoons, anime, what have you. So I call this number and it rings and rings, goes to voicemail. So I leave a message like, hi, Jay Hickman, here's my number. I'd love to audition, and never heard back.
Oh.
So, okay. So a few months pass, I see an ad again in the paper, slightly different, same number. I call them up again. Ring, 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 no answer, goes to voicemail. I leave a message. This is months later. Hi, Jay Hickman, here's my number. Love to audition. Never. So fast forward a few more months, I'm at my girlfriend's place, having breakfast. She's leafing through the paper, sees this ad in the back of the paper, and she's like, oh my gosh, it's an ad for actors, for cartoons. Like, that would be perfect for you. You do all these wacky voices and stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, I think I've called that one. It doesn't seem like it's meant to be. So She's like, well, I think I'm going to call them. I'm like, you should, by all means. Give them a call. But again, it didn't seem to pan out. So I don't know what they're after. She's like, well, I'm going to call them right now. So she grabbed her cordless phone and beep, boop, boop, beep, beep, boop, beep, and is waiting and waiting. And she's like, yes, hello, hi, yes, yes, I was calling about the ad for the voice actors. Yeah, yes. Friday is fine, yeah. 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock's good. Yeah, what's your address? Okay, great. Do I need to prepare? No? Okay, great. So this Friday at 2, and I've got your address. I will see you there. Great, thanks so much. Oh, wait. I'm here with my boyfriend, who is an amazing actor and does all these great voices for cartoon. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, see you at 2. All right, bye. Click.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, what just happened? What? So she said, she's like, I told them about you and I wanted you to come. And they were like, we don't need any guys. All we need is female actors. And I'm like, oh, all right. Well, I should have known. She's like, would you take me to this audition? No, I have no idea what I'm doing. And you have some experience. I'm like, of course. Boyfriend of the year. I will take you I'll take you to your audition. So Friday at 2 o'clock, we show up. This is this place in a business park. And it's ADV Films. And so we walk in, and there's several people sitting in the waiting room. There's a production assistant with a clipboard walking around. And so she gets my girlfriend's name and information and gives her some audition sides and kind of, this is how it's going to go and here's what's expected. And the production assistant comes back around with the clipboard and is checking in people and stops in front of me. And she's like, are you auditioning? I'm like, no. And she said, were you hoping to? Did you want to? I'm like, oh my gosh, I'd love to, but I wasn't able to book a slot. She's like, well, they are running a little bit ahead today, so they may have a slot open up if you'd like to. I'm like, are you kidding me? Yeah.
Yes.
Let's absolutely. She's like, what's your name? Let's get all your stuff down. And we left and swapped notes. And about a week later, I got a call to go in and record a tiny character in a show called Master of Moskatoon. And from there, I just...
that was your start?
That was my start.
And did she book anything? Oh.
She had gone through all the proper channels and never got called. However, as a denouement to the story, I ended up marrying her.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Nice consolation for her, right?
Yes, great. So great. Hello, we're at a convention, so we've got people walking up to the table. Hello. So great. I know. We'll be done with the interview in just a second.
I'll be glad to catch up with you.
It's okay. No, come back in 5 minutes. And that's what we do at conventions, right? Well, this was so great hearing about your characters and how you got started, and then your wife. It kind of all comes full circle.
It does indeed.
Yes. You got married. She's an actor. You're an actor. Everybody's an actor.
Everybody's an actor.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. And I would love for you to subscribe and click the bell so you'll be notified of other interviews. This was awesome. Thank you.
It was. Thank you. A pleasure.
Yeah. Bye. See you later.
See y'all.